Payday 2 is one of my favourite games of all time, and with Payday 3 being announced, I really wanted to give my feedback and my input on what I really wanted to see in the next game. So, without further ado guys, this is the top 5 things that I would like to see in Payday 3. So without further ado, let's kick off the list. So guys, number 5 on my list is going to be more customization options. I'm talking customization for your suits, your guns, your masks, and I was even thinking of coming with custom HUDs as well for this game, and also van skins as well. So this is what I mean. I'm going to start off by talking about the customization options. So you're seeing here like suits and stuff. Imagine if you can upgrade or customize your suits. How cool would that be if you can do that in Payday 3? That'd be awesome. I mean, there are options in Payday 2 to do it for mods, but other people can't see them. It'd be quite nice to customize your skins like you could be able to your masks. So how about putting that in Payday 3? That would be really, really cool to customize your what you get from like your paint jobs, and maybe it'll cost a certain amount of money to upgrade your suits, or maybe have to do an achievement or a challenge able to do it, or certain ways to get it. It'd be really cool, like side jobs as well. I'm also talking about the guns too. So obviously, as we all know, we have weapon skins in Payday 2. I'm showing you one on screen now. But it would be a lot nicer if, take these pistols for example, we could just draw something on the pistols, like you could with, like, I'm going to take a Call of Duty game for example. In Black Ops 3 they introduced the gunsmith or the workshop, where you could paint job the side of your guns and you could customize weapons to your liking. I would love that feature in Payday 3 even, my apologies, because this would just make it way more, the personalization would be way better, and you can obviously show the skin off to your friends, and even then maybe have the workshop feature in Payday 3 to post your work, or post like something that you've made in the game using like a little editor or something. Like, I think that would just be next level in terms of customization, really. And going on to the masks as well, like I think a good point that my friend Lewis made, actually, so shout out to my friend Lewis, he made a really good point of actually with the customization with the masks, you can have patterns, but they're not really useful in the sense that you can't just put them on. I mean, certain masks, patterns and colors fit really well, and there are some people out there who made some amazing stuff. I've even made some funny ones myself. I've made one I've called it Ninja Doge, as you can see here. It's like it's using like the samurai Japanese sort of a pattern with just a plastic sort of material. That there's a pretty good creation, I think. But what I'm saying about with the patterns is that I wish that with some of the masks, I'm using this one for example, the hooded one, it just doesn't make any sense sometimes. I wish you could really move around the patterns and like click and drag and move around the patterns, or maybe put more than one pattern on to really make it how you want it to, or have custom text on your masks or something like that. Maybe I could put on the side of my mask like Lil Guy G or something like that. I would really love that that'd just be such a cool feature to add into the game. And also a feature that I mentioned at the start that I would like is that throughout this video you're going to be seeing different HUDs that I'm using, and I've done that on purpose. I'll leave the links to some of the HUDs in the description below if you want to go check them out. But what I mean by custom HUDs is that I really wish we could really customize the HUD to what we like customize the colors, the size, and like the fonts and everything. Just really make it our own. Like, especially for the PC version too. I understand the console players might not be able to get features like this, but for PC players especially, it'd be really nice to have those kind of options. So coming down to my number 4 spot, it's going to be a bit of a controversial topic. This is going to be less DLC. Now I mean more controversial because I have a few ideas on how Overkill can manage the amount of DLC they're going to put out. Everyone knows that, you know, Payday 2 is very popular and very infamous in that matter for having way too many paid DLC. And I can admit myself, there is way too much DLC in the game, even though I'm happy to pay for it because I'm a Payday 2 player. But for some people who are trying to get into the game like right about now, and they're just seeing bundles and bundles of DLC, and they're not going to be willing to pay for it, and they feel like they're missing out on so much stuff. So if you're going to release DLC in the future, I think it'd be really, really suitable to do more free content. Like every time it's a paid DLC, add free DLC. That's how I think it should work, most certainly. At the beginning of Payday 2, there wasn't much of an issue. They did release like one free heist, which is the Diamond Store. They released the Counter-Strike Global Offensive Bank, the Bank Heist, and then ever since they released that first Gauge pack, things started to really go downhill in terms of DLC, and that's where they knew they could really make the money. But obviously with Overkill, a lot of the DLCs they put out have been really, really good and have been worth the money. But I'm seeing as time goes by, they're starting to lose that inspiration and they're starting to lose the passion, I feel. So I really wish that in the next Payday game, they should really just take their time with each DLC and obviously put out some free content alongside the paid content to make it a lot more fairer for all their customers. And this next point is going to be a bit controversial, but having a season pass with all the paid content coming out would be a smart move, I think, in my opinion. Obviously getting a bit of a discount on some of the DLCs that are upcoming. Because today in Payday 2, it's £5 a pop for each DLC, and there's so many DLC, like over 30 DLCs in Payday 2. So that money does add up, unfortunately, and it's just become such a massive bundle of content. It's crazy. Just releases the John Wick heist pack. That's the 38th DLC pack for Payday 2. 38, and each DLC costs around $4.99 to $3.99 to $4.99. So I think having a season pass there for those people who want to pay a bit less towards the DLC and obviously support the game and have content come to them as it's coming out would be a much better idea than releasing the content separately. There was a Game of the Year edition for Payday 2, but obviously that does need to be updated in the coming years, most certainly. Adding all of the DLC and adding all of the add-ons in, having all of the updates in. So that's what I would like in the next game, just to cut down on the DLC, or if they are going to add DLC, add more of it, certainly, but make sure there's enough free content at the side to make all the customers happy, most certainly. So the third thing I want in Payday 3 is definitely less linear heists and more options during your heists and your pre-planning. So what I mean by this is that less linear options. So as we know, in most of the heists, there's always that one objective we have to go to and the one objective to clear. It'd be nice if there were side objectives on the side of the main objective, like clearing out an area or escorting something or whatever, really. Like, having more teamwork involved would make it a lot more interesting game. Because most of the time, it's just defender drill. Defender drill, defender drill. You know, survivor wave, defender drill, defend an objective, you know, defender drill. That's pretty much how the game goes. And then with some fun combat at the side, you know, fun shooting mechanics. But I wish there was less linear options in heists and there'd be more variety. And I'm going to be coming down to this in my number 2 spot, which I'm going to talk about in a bit as well, because it's one of my most valued aspects of Payday 2. But with Payday 3, I want to see stuff like, you know, being able to go through walls and destructible cover and stuff like that. And that comes down to another point in the future. I wish like destructible cover was coming into play, so you could open up new areas of the map and make new entrance points, or even you know, shoot through the walls. You can make like a new little you know, bullet slot, or new new bit of cover that you can shoot through, little bits like that, like a little shield. So it'd be really cool to like put stuff into play. Take Rainbow Six Siege, for example, where you can use the walls and the environments and shoot through them and be able to kill your enemies. That would be a really cool option in Payday 2, or Payday 3 even, most certainly. So I wish that they would just have more variety in the pre-planning and in the actual heist itself. So making sure that each heist doesn't get repetitive. Yeah, just make sure the missions are a lot more diverse and less linear and have more options in the future. So coming down to my number 2 spot, guys, it's going to be something that I value a lot in Payday 2, like I said in the last point, was the stealth. So I want the stealth in Payday 3 to be very updated and very smooth and fresh as it is in Payday 2, but make it better. Because in Payday 2, obviously there are a lot of times where you can exploit guard movements, you can exploit loot spots. I'm showing you some Shadow Ray gameplay where you can loot certain pre-planning spots as well. You know, using loot drop-off points to easily take loot to that certain point and make easy profit off the game, which is obviously the point of the game. But it'd be a lot more challenging if we didn't have those sort of options. We have to actually take it to the van or use those drop-off points, but maybe those drop-off points had a certain amount of bags to put in before it would be filled up. So obviously, because you can put an infinite amount of bags into a bin and it won't fill up, and it's kind of silly how that works. So I would really like it if, you know, they update the stealth in Payday 3 and have better guards, so make guards unpredictable, and if they hear a noise, something, they will go and investigate that area. Like you can in certain heists, you can actually turn on tapes and stuff, and it seems guards will be attracted to that area. But overall, I just wish, like, if they were to see you right in front of your face, they would react a bit better. And obviously you can get away with a lot of cheesy stuff in Payday 2. So hopefully the AI in Payday 3 would be 10 times better than it is in Payday 2. And yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say. And stealth being improved most certainly. I think in terms of setting off the pages as well, make it so instead of you just killing a guard, like, the guard would have to be alerted in some way as well. And obviously having the cameras off as well, make the cameras different in some way. Like, obviously, if you, I said earlier, if you make certain noises, or if you make too much noise, you have to stay crouched in a heist and able to stay silent. Yeah, maybe have like a noise detector, and obviously if you make too much noise in an area, guards will be like, we're gonna go check it out. And maybe a guard can maybe jog to the area instead of walk as well. So obviously being a lot slower and giving you time to escape. So make it really, really challenging for Payday 3 most certainly. And yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say for the stealth. So the number one thing I want to see in Payday 3 most certainly is a new engine. Now, and better optimization most certainly. So with Payday 2, over time, as more content's been added to the game, I feel that's really hurt the game in terms of its optimization. So what I mean by this is that most of the times, even bigger rigs and most expensive rigs are actually struggling to run the game, because from new maps or new heists adding in new textures to the game, and the engine just being not able to keep up with a lot of the textures, and it's adding so much and it can't keep up with it, and a lot of PCs just can't keep up with the engine. So a new fresh engine that's been tested and modified would be much better, you know, with high detail graphics, you know, high detailed environments, would just make the game so much more immersive to be in. And also the gun mechanics and the shooting mechanics, if those were to change too as well in terms of a new engine, that would be much appreciated most certainly, and that would really make the game something of next level in terms of gameplay. And I think, because with Payday 2, the shooting mechanics are fine in Payday 2, I see no problem with them, but at times they can be very buggy, and I think that with Payday 2's engine being in-house, I believe, it's definitely showed its age as well, like low textured graphics, and there's even mods that people in the like Last Bullet and the Mod Workshop have made. They've just really furbished the game up, and like I'm showing you gameplay now of you know, people retexturing heists and stuff, and they look actually 10 times better than the actual game. And that's kind of not embarrassing, obviously, but it just really shows that Overkill would be much better off just using a new engine and like seeing high textures. If Overkill were to go that next step and use high render textures and to really make the game look beautiful, my mind would be blown, and I'd have to applaud Overkill. So yeah, that's going to sum up the video, guys. That is my top 5 things that I want to see in Payday 3. Let me know down in the comments section below what you guys want to see in Payday 3. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and like the video if you enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy, and goodbye.